Discipline, respect, dedication,
Life-changing.
family,
Home.
Memories. Hope for the region.
Opportunity. Home. When I get into AUD, like it's so fresh. You can relax and have breathe in some fresh air because of the nature around campus, the cats, the plants, the flowers, and the people.
One.
It's basically a second home, a place where we can study some days, have fun, make friends.
Opportunity for a better connection and relationship. A connection to nature and friends.
life changing.
Social life, an opportunity, adventure, friends, home.
I'm really looking forward to this commencement ceremony this year because it's the first one after the COVID, and I'm really excited for my parents to see me graduate.
Being around my graduating friends too and with my parents.
Honestly, the pictures, more than anything else, being able to capture the few moments that we have left with our friends.
I had a wonderful experience when it comes to the curriculum and learning, and also I had a very interesting experience when it comes to extracurriculars and meeting new people.
The number of opportunities that we get in terms of clubs, competitions, initiatives within and outside of our majors.
How inclusive the community is and how inclusive the people on the campus are.
Student life, the societies and the clubs I participated in.
Enjoying the campus with all its views, the trees, the cats and everything.
I really enjoyed building connections and meeting influential people.
The AUB campus has been like a second home to me, so I'm definitely going to miss that sense of belonging.
I think I'm going to miss everything, but especially the people.
It's a bubble that separates you from all the obstacles around the world. It's just special the way it is. Okay, I'll miss my friends and the cat, especially Mango, the famous cat of ETS.
With this, the Faculty of Health and Sciences, and specifically I'm going to miss the courtyard.
I will miss the graduate lounge where I used to study and hang out with my colleagues. I even used to spend more time there than at home.
I think I will miss the most leading the Medical Humanism Fund, which is a fund that was created to help patients at AUB.
I will miss every single building in this wonderful campus.
At the heart of Beirut lies an athlete's paradise. Interested in a stadium tour? Join us at the Greenfield and Hustler Center, a haven where even sunbathing can be a sport. People come from far, then wide to compete and support their favorite colors, whatever those colors may be. Running around in circles, playing to win, or for the sheer pleasure of exercise. A simple recipe. Just add water. Yes, AUB Sport is an integral part of this academic lifestyle. Students and faculty train much more than just their brains. And there's even a diet center to keep you fit inside and out. Now, are you really that surprised?
I'm Christopher Jones. I'm from Westchester, New York, suburbs of New York City.
My name is Yuanyi Liu and I'm from Guangzhou, China. I'm a first-year master's student here at AUB, majoring in Middle Eastern Studies.
Hello, my name is Hugo. I'm from France and I'm majoring in industrial engineering.
The history and the contradictions of Lebanon and Beirut specifically are carried into pretty much every facet of life, whether that's at the university, that's on the streets of Hamra and Bliss, or anywhere you go. So the whole endeavor of getting a master's degree here was about the continuation of the learning, where I don't leave the university and learning all of a sudden stops, where I can continue to have these same conversations with my friends throughout the city and learn new perspectives every day.
So I would like to come to this region to study, to get some more local narratives, to balance my views, balance all the perspectives, and to get a more comprehensive, probably, understanding of the region. And I think compared with other universities in the region, AUB, firstly, it's really good, and secondly, it offers academic freedom, which is different from studying in any other universities in the MENA region.
The idea was to come here and to volunteer in the country after the blast, and I've worked in many NGOs around the country, such as Ofrojwa, Beitna Beitak, or many other ones, and I really liked it. Actually, I think it changed my life. At the very end, I needed to do a choice. I wanted to stay there. I didn't want to get back to France. So I applied to AUB and I got accepted, so I stayed a bit longer, yes.
Lebanon, with all its faults, is a beautiful country.
I love the people here. They are super friendly, that they would like to know more about me and to know about my background and my culture.
I've always felt very welcomed here. The weather also is great, as is the positioning on the Mediterranean.
A lot of international students, and we can meet them pretty easily. Students are very friendly. Students are very friendly, and it was easy for me to adapt and to meet new people.
I had a professor, Farid Aboud, who I don't think is at the university anymore, who had been the ambassador to China, Russia, and the United States. And in the U.S., I was never going to meet, in my classes or have classes taught by someone like this. We ended up getting to go to dinner at the Chinese embassy in Beirut. This was a kind of very unique experience that gave me a lot of perspective that otherwise I wouldn't have attained.
Welcome to Cat Central, where lazy cats rule AUB. Nothing moves them. Unless, of course, there's food. But feeding them is not allowed. Well, there are some exceptions. Confusing, yes? In winter, they find shelter. Some even give birth in classrooms. Needless to say, these felines are living the good life. The great life, even.
Big Game is a classic end-of-year event. Historically, it was the Faculty of Arts and Sciences against the Faculty of Engineering and Architecture. a big rivalry there dating back to the 60s. But as AUB has grown and other faculties have grown, it's FEA against the rest. A lot of school children in Lebanon region know about AUB students through these sports tournaments when they go and compete with other universities or when they go on trips. And when they hear of the sportsmanship, of the results, of the achievements, then it's definitely a very big attraction. AUB has always been a leader in promoting women's sports and women's teams and women's achievements in these areas. And AUB was the first to have a women's football team. We were the first to have a women's rugby team. We very much are proud of that and having that equity in terms of male-female participation in competitive sports. Things like the big game, things like outdoors, and all these other activities, they're very, very important, especially in the region. This is a little spot here where they say, no, there's color, there's fun, there's human interaction, there's creativity, there's competitiveness on a sporting level. And again, I repeat the word fun.
Getting back UB Big Games into the campus is really important to any newly admitted student, because it is able to show how resilient and how united the student body is to keep UB traditions.
Despite everything that is going on in the country, we still managed to organize the Big Games, which is one of the fundamental traditions at the university.
This lifelong AUB tradition has been vital to the continuity of the student life and it shows how vibrant the AUB student life is.
The Big Games show that the university is not only about education, but it is also an inclusive environment to help students enjoy their life at university.
AUB was able to prove that it's in past, present and future that's always against all odds, that you are a campus of doers and that you are a campus of people who are able to get things done.
What AUB is to me. My second promise. It's grand.
Discipline, respect, dedication,
Life-changing.
family,
Home.
memories, hope for the region.
Opportunity. Home. When I get into AUB, like it's so fresh. You can relax and have breathe in some fresh air. Also have nature around campus, the cats, the plants, the flowers, and the people.
Quality. It's basically a second home, a place where we can study some days, have fun, make friends.
Opportunity for a better future and relationship.
connection to nature and plants.
Life-changing.
Social life, an opportunity, adventure, friends, home.
I'm really looking forward to this commencement ceremony this year because it's the first one after the COVID, and I'm really excited for my parents to see me graduate.
Being around my graduating friends too and with my parents.
Honestly, the pictures, more than anything else, being able to capture the few moments that we have left with our friends.
I had a wonderful experience when it comes to the curriculum and learning, and also I had a very, very interesting experience when it comes to extracurriculars and meeting new people.
The number of opportunities that we get in terms of clubs, competitions, initiatives within and outside of our majors.
How inclusive the community is and how inclusive the people on the campus are.
Student life, the societies and the clubs I participated in.
Enjoying the campus with all its views, the trees, the cats and everything.
I really enjoyed building connections and meeting influential people.
The AUB campus has been like a second home to me, so I'm definitely going to miss that sense of belonging.
I think I'm going to miss everything, but especially the people.
It's a bubble that separates you from all the obstacles around the world. It's just special the way it is. Okay, I'll miss my friends and the cats, especially Mango, the famous cat of ETS.
I would miss the Faculty of Health and Sciences, and specifically I'm going to miss the courtyard.
I will miss the graduate lounge where I used to study and hang out with my colleagues. I even used to spend more time there than at home.
I think I will miss the most leading the medical humanism fund, which is a fund that was created to help patients at AUB.
I will miss every single building in this wonderful campus.
At the heart of Beirut lies its
I'm Christopher Jones. I'm from Westchester, New York, suburbs of New York City.
My name is Yuanyi Liu and I'm from Guangzhou, China. I'm a first-year master's student here at AUB, majoring in Middle Eastern Studies.
Hello, my name is Hugo. I'm from France and I'm majoring in industrial engineering.
The history and the contradictions of Lebanon and Beirut specifically are carried into pretty much every facet of life, whether that's at the university, that's on the streets of Hamra and Bliss, or anywhere you go. So the whole endeavor of getting a master's degree here was about the continuation of the learning, where I don't leave the university and learning all of a sudden stops, where I can continue to have these same conversations with my friends throughout the city and learn new perspectives every day.
So I would like to come to this region to study, to get some more local narratives, to balance my views, balance all the perspectives, and to get a more comprehensive, probably understanding of the region. And I think compared with other universities in the region, AUB, firstly, it's really good, and secondly, it offers academic freedom, which is different from studying in any other universities in the MENA region.
The idea was to come here and to volunteer in the country after the blast, and I've worked in many NGOs around the country, such as Hanna-Atisha, Beitak, or many other ones, and I really liked it. Actually, I think it changed my life. At the very end, I needed to do a choice. I wanted to stay there. I didn't want to get back to France. So I applied to AUB and I got accepted, so I stayed a bit longer, yes.
Lebanon, with all its faults, is a beautiful country.
I love the people here. They are super friendly, that they would like to know more about me and to know about my background and my culture.
I've always felt very welcomed here. The weather also is great, as is the positioning on the Mediterranean.
A lot of international students, and we can meet them pretty easily. Students are very friendly. Students are very friendly, and it was easy for me to adapt and to meet new people.
I had a professor, Farid Aboud, who I don't think is at the university anymore, who had been the ambassador to China, Russia, and the United States. And in the U.S., I was never going to meet, in my classes or have classes taught by someone like this. We ended up getting to go to dinner at the Chinese embassy in Beirut. This was a kind of very unique experience that gave me a lot of perspective that otherwise I wouldn't have attained.
Unless, of course, there's food. But feeding them is not allowed. Well, there are some exceptions. Confusing, yes? In winter, they find shelter. Some even give birth in classrooms. Needless to say, these felines are living the good life. The great life, even.
Big Game is a classic end-of-year event. Historically, it was the Faculty of Arts and Sciences against the Faculty of Engineering and Architecture. A big rivalry there dating back to the 60s, but as AUB has grown and other faculties have grown, it's FEA against the rest. A lot of school children in Lebanon region know about AUB students through these sports tournaments when they go and compete with other universities or when they go on trips. And when they hear of the sportsmanship, of the results, of the achievements, then it's definitely a very big attraction. AUB has always been a leader in promoting women's sports and women's teams and women's achievements in these areas. And AUB was the first to have a women's football team. We were the first to have a women's rugby team. We very much are proud of that and having that equity in terms of male-female participation in competitive sports. Things like the big game, things like outdoors, and all these other activities, they're very, very important, especially in the region. This is a little spot here where they say, no, there's color, there's fun, there's human interaction, there's creativity, there's competitiveness on a sporting level. And again, I repeat the word fun.
Getting back UB Big Games into the campus is really important to any newly admitted student because it is able to show how resilient and how united the student body is to keep UB traditions.
Despite everything that is going on in the country, we still managed to organize the Big Games, which is one of the fundamental traditions at the university.
This lifelong UB tradition has been vital to the continuity
Honored trustees, members of the faculty and staff, candidates for degrees, parents, alumni, and friends joining virtually. President Fadlo Khuri, I declare that this 153rd commencement of the American University of Beirut to be now assembled and in session for the purpose of the day. I also proclaim open the 18th ceremony since 1969 for the awarding of honorary doctorates at the American University of Beirut. By conferring degrees on these outstanding individuals, AUB reaffirms the institutional values that have been the foundation of its excellence and of its renown.
Please be seated. Otherwise, it's going to be a longer speech than even I planned. Trustees, faculty, staff, families, honorands, and especially students of the American University of Beirut's graduating class of 2022. Welcome to your long-awaited graduation. For several years, you've embraced the shining landmarks and walked the shaded paths of this iconic institution. You graduate today with your parents seated behind you on this magnificent green field, the first class since the summer of 2019 to have that privilege. You will receive your degrees alongside 5 magnificent women and men who have helped make the world better, the first honorary doctorates that AUB has awarded since that haunting day 3 years ago when all things seemed possible, before Lebanon descended into chaos and the world sank into an unforgiving pandemic that cost upwards of 15 million lives. Most of you will now leave AUB, but as I will point out to you this evening, AUB will truly never leave you. I have one unplanned business. I would like the trustees, the faculty and staff, the honorands and the alumni to recognize the service of 57 years of Dr. Makhlouf Haddadin. Please stand to recognize Dr. Haddadin. He is one of the most distinguished professors in the history of this university. In a sense, Dr. Haddadin is finally graduating with all of you. You can be seated. So this is a very distinguished class. To complete your studies, most of you have drunk many a cup of coffee. It is the way of generations before and hence. One last cup of coffee before you go, as Bob Dylan so memorably sang. Your breath is sweet, your eyes are like 2 jewels in the sky. Your back is straight, your hair is smooth on the pillow where you lie. I don't sense affection, nor know gratitude or love. Your loyalty is not to me, but to the stars above. Many of you, our students, will leave Lebanon and AUB within the next few months. Particularly, this is true of our graduate students, our medical students, our PhD students. You will leave in pursuit of your academic or professional ambitions and of a better life, building on the strong foundations that you formed here at this campus and in this country. Some of you will look back at these years with a sense of weariness, perhaps even bitterness for this country. Your recent experience echoing that view that Dylan had of his mysterious lover. I don't sense affection, nor know gratitude or love. Your loyalty is not to me, but to the stars above. Others will feel an even more profound sense of loss, a lament or ritha. I know of no greater lament than El-Rindi's bittersweet cry for the loss of many of Andalusia's greatest cities to the Spanish Reconquista. And he wrote this expressly for the 13th century fall of Seville. In his epic lament, he says, لكل شيء إذا ما تم نقصانه فلا يغر بطيب العيش إنسان. هي الأمور كما شاهدتها دول من سره زمن ساءته أزمان. That one mispronunciation just got a free lunch for Dr. Tarif al-Khaldi. Just this last month, we witnessed yet another tragic moment of cruelty, the murder of the iconic Palestinian journalist Shireen Abu Akleh, an attempt to further embitter and alienate a people under siege. While we responded to this in our own manner, this is one of the latest and unfortunately not the last of many brutal attacks on journalists and activists, including in Palestine, in Ukraine, and many other countries, as well as in our beloved Lebanon. As the lines from Game of Thrones memorably state, the night is dark and full of terror. See, I'm using a 21st century reference for you. Our MasterCard students tell me I'm always referring to dead white men. So now I just referred to a very dead Arab man. Art imitates life, even in its grimmest, cruelest, most alienating moments. Let us pause for a moment, however, to consider that there are more to your ties to AUB and indeed to the home country of many of you, to Lebanon, to Palestine, to others, than that expressed through two bittersweet poetic symphonies written some 700 years apart. In doing so, let's pass briefly over some of the many things that you've had the opportunity and the privilege to witness and accomplish over your time at AUB. Prior to the summer of 2019, almost all students graduating from the American University of Beirut had an opportunity to spend at least 3 years on this magnificent campus. Some 2, but on average at least 3 years. While this was denied to many of you for almost 2 years, the collective efforts of physicians, public health specialists, nurses, students, faculty, staff, trustees, and administration led to the vaccination of 99.7% of our AUB community, and also of your families, alumni, and underprivileged individuals across the countries. Sometimes when I read that number, 99.7%, I wonder if I've suddenly morphed into an Arab dictator. But it's true, 99.7% of you. The American University of Beirut Medical Center rallied to treat the highest number of critically ill patients with COVID-19 in Lebanon, and to heal and treat over 1,000 victims of the August 4, 2020 blast in a painful but irrevocable 48 hours. Students, faculty, staff, and alumni have excelled, winning numerous awards and accolades, including this year 3, including one after I wrote the speech, 3 of the most prestigious prizes: the Nobel Prize in Medicine to Ardem Patapoutian, the Kavli Prize in Neuroscience to Huda Zughbi, and Silver Lion at the Venice Biennial to Ali Shirri. So, in 6.5 years since I challenged all of us, and that means all of us at AUB, to become more intellectually accomplished than we are economically elite, we've almost tripled the number of students who obtained this last year of their AUB education on full scholarships, with almost a quarter of our community enjoying that privilege this last academic year. 1 out of 4 of you basically came to AUB for free this last year. That's the highest number on record in more than 50 years. In the Lebanese parliamentary elections of May 15, 2022, 7 AUB faculty members with diverse backgrounds from 4 faculties stood as candidates, all 7 conducting themselves with extraordinary courage, integrity, and equipoise. In 5 years since restoring tenure to AUB for the first time in 33 years, 200 faculty members have earned this vital protection of academic excellence and freedom. Most importantly, for today, you, our students, continue to excel academically, professionally, personally. You've revived student life on campus since your return on October 1st when more than 7,500 discrete visits happened in one day on this campus. You receive and grasp opportunities for a better tomorrow. You contest student elections, hold music concerts, win the most competitive prizes in international sports competitions and global Model United Nations and other contests. A stunning 85% of our medical graduates match over the last 5 years at highly competitive residency programs in the US at the first 2 times of asking. Our graduates continue to get into the finest PhD and master's programs, the best firms in the world, to win prizes for innovation, for courage, and for ethical behavior. As I told last year's class, and I repeat to you, you are our good news for the world, and you are our hope for the better days to come. The ties that bind you to AUB and to your home countries are actually far more tensile than you might imagine. I'm confident you will remain attached to this, your university, and your campus, and you will return with an enhanced ability to transform lives. I know this from personal experiences. Many years ago, I also dreamed of a return to AUB and to Lebanon, but I was determined to return only when I could make a difference. 41 years ago, I left the American University of Beirut under the den of unrelenting bombing that marked the 1982 Israeli invasion of Lebanon. 9 years later, I took my new bride, Lamia Tannous, for our honeymoon in Andalusia. It was in Andalusia where I discovered in a previous trip that the Arab culture, whose loss Al-Rindi lamented, was very much alive and had long taken root. That culture was and remains indisputably and proudly present when you visit modern-day Spain. We visited first some 724 years after the fall of Sevilla. Al-Rindi's words, therefore, offer more than a lament. They are also a reminder to the masters of the moment, the winners for now, that time is ephemeral, that as the Reverend Martin Luther King stated in 1968 at the National Cathedral in Washington, D.C., just a few weeks before he was assassinated, the arc of the moral universe bends towards justice. The arc of the moral universe bends towards justice. Remember that. For many of you, that curve may be imperceptible, but I'm confident that you will learn over time that this arc indeed bends inexorably towards justice. Now, King's statement, often misquoted, was an expression of Christian faith, and it's vital to acknowledge that justice on earth does not occur absent effort on earth. We must all contribute meaningfully and constantly to bending the arc of that moral universe in the direction of social and environmental pledge. You, our students, have been empowered to do great good during your voyage through this most impactful and unique university. You are going to work to bend the arc of the moral universe towards justice. You've been taught well, you've been counseled wisely, but you've also formed your own identities. You've scaled your own peaks, climbed out of your own valleys. Failure is often the best teacher. This experience will embolden you and serve you well in the challenging times to come. And the challenges, as we have seen here over the last several years, will definitely keep coming. Anne Bronte, though lesser known than her sisters Charlotte and Emily, published 2 novels in her short life. In Agnes Grey, she speaks to the oppression and isolation many young women faced in the 19th century, and I could argue still face in the 21st, but she also spoke about human resilience. She wrote, "The ties that bind us to life are tougher than you imagine, or than anyone who has not felt how roughly they may be pulled without breaking." How roughly they may be pulled without breaking. You and your families, indeed all of us living in Lebanon and this region these past few years, have often felt near the breaking point. It's okay to acknowledge that. But by sticking together and sticking up for one another, by holding fast to the ties that bind, we can weather any storm. And as Dr. King said, we can overcome. Undoubtedly, you'll face further challenges in your life, but do not think for a moment that you will face them alone. Along with your families, with your loved ones and friends with whom you've embraced this voyage, you've built deep and binding ties to the American University of Beirut and its community, both here and abroad. Some 75,000 alumni and legions of friends and allies of this university await, ready to help you forge your own personal paths. They too savor the ties that bind. So as you leave this place where you have struggled, fought, loved, lost, and won, know that you are part of something greater than yourselves, something vital that you can help make even greater, even more sustainable. Know that being an alumnus of the American University of Beirut, which you will be in a couple of hours, binds you permanently to an institution that stretches from its eternal home in Beirut to its new campus in Paphos, Cyprus, to all the countries and the regions we serve and impact in the Levant, Arabia, Asia, Africa, Europe, America, Australia, and beyond. It binds you to a band of like-minded, determined sisters and brothers, determined to work and sacrifice in the name of excellence, both excellence for its own sake and for the greater good. Congratulations to all of you, AUB class of 2022. It is now my distinct pleasure to introduce the graduate speaker for this commencement, Ms. soon-to-be Dr. Amani Bakraydar, a candidate for the degree of Doctor in Nursing from the Rafiq Hariri School of Nursing, the first of 2 PhD students from the Hariri School in an eon. Amani is currently graduating with a PhD in nursing. Prior to that PhD, she held several meaningful clinical, managerial, and academic positions in the nursing field. At the Rafiq Hariri School of Nursing, Amani was a consistently outstanding student who demonstrated enthusiasm and a passion for nursing and research. Her diligence, her meticulous hard work have resulted in high-impact research that will improve the health of people living with diabetes. She was assigned teaching duties to undergraduate nurses and was praised for her teaching skills by both faculty and students. She also acted as the student representative on the Rafiq Hariri School of Nursing Research Committee. Amani is a powerful advocate of the nursing profession. She aspires to demonstrate its integral contribution to the healthcare system and to society at large. She was described by faculty who nominated her as an exemplary, responsible, and dedicated PhD student and a highly eloquent person who always carries a smile. Please join me in welcoming soon-to-be Dr. Amani Bakraydar.
Thank you. Thank you, President Khuri. Wow, what an honor to be standing here today. President Fadlo Khuri, esteemed deans, distinguished faculty, parents, spouses, family members, and my fellow graduates, both present here today and behind the screen. Good evening. If I tell you that I remember the first day I came into AUB, I would be lying. Well, that's because it was 23 years ago. I first stepped foot in the AUB campus in year 1999 when I started my bachelor's journey as a nursing student, and I can't seem to leave. I graduated in 2002 with a BS in nursing. Now, mind you, I was not a top student back then, not even among the top 10 of my class. But nursing was my passion. So when 2 years later, the School of Nursing opened its first master's program, I applied without hesitation. And in 2007, I became one of the first 5 students to graduate with a master's degree in nursing from AUB. Now, during the following years, I had a very exciting career path where I held some clinical, managerial, and academic positions, both here in Lebanon and abroad. But I always kept my eye on my alma mater. So when in 2018, the Hariri School of Nursing launched its PhD program, well, guess who applied? I did. And here I am standing before you, 4 years later, among the first cohort to graduate from AUB with a PhD in nursing. Now, was it easy? Was it easy? Oh, definitely it was not. It was an extraordinary journey, filled with hard work, several breakdowns, and many sacrifices. You know, being a wife and the mother of 3 children, I missed a lot of hours of quality family time and missed a lot of bedtime stories. But what comforts me is that I was able to be a good role model for my children, teaching them that you can reach for your stars. They are nearer than you expect. You know, when I look back on my journey, one image keeps crossing my mind: a caterpillar transforming into a butterfly. During the last 4 years, I can honestly say that I went through a metamorphosis from being someone who constantly sought knowledge and a higher degree to becoming someone who wanted to make an impact in her world. AUB taught me that a PhD is not just a university degree. It's not just about increasing your knowledge or adding doctor into your title. It's about combining this knowledge with wisdom in order to make an impact. Now, during my transformation, just like the caterpillar that feels vulnerable outside of its cocoon, I was constantly challenged to be the best that I can. And oh, what challenges did we all face during the last 4 years. My fellow graduates, we are definitely not just some people with a graduate degree. The degrees we are holding today are not normal ones. We excelled when the world around us was in a hiatus, unable to function. We persevered when our nation was crumbling. We took one hit after the other, and of course, we sometimes felt like we hit rock bottom. But it turned out that this rock bottom was actually a great foundation on which we built ourselves up, better, stronger, and wiser than ever. Now, none of this would have been possible without the support we got from AUB and our faculty members. Their provision and adaptation to the challenging times taught us to persevere and give our best. And we did. We conducted research during these challenging times with the limited resources that we had. In a country that was constantly worrying about how to secure its next loaf of bread, not to mention our own struggles with our personal lives. But despite all of that, we made an impact. The research that we did was deemed as outstanding by top universities in the USA. In fact, our involvement with those universities during our research residencies showcased the high caliber of our education and confirmed that Lebanon's greatest asset is its brain power. Well, that and hummus, of course. So now, nothing seems impossible to me anymore. And just like Aristotle said, you are what you repeatedly do. And well, you know that we made excellence our habit. So if the last years have taught me anything, it's that first, it's always better to aim high and miss than aim low and hit. But it's definitely very sweet when you aim high and hit too. Second, always aim your actions into kindness, because the effect you have on others is what matters the most. And third, coffee is the elixir of life. So now, finally, on behalf of myself and all my fellow graduates, I want to thank all the deans and all the faculty members for their continuous guidance and support. And I want to thank all the parents, the spouses, the family members, and the friends who supported us during the past years. Thank you for putting up with us. We know it hasn't been easy to live with lately. And to my fellow graduates of the class of 2022, we are AUB ambassadors, whether in Lebanon or any other place on this planet. So let the butterflies fly and show the world what it means to be called an AUBite. Thank you, and congratulations. Thank you.
I think she deserves another shout out. Bravo, Amani. I now have the great pleasure to confer the honorary degree of Doctor of Humane Letters, AUB's highest honor, on 5 extraordinary individuals. They have been selected in recognition of their outstanding contributions as thinkers, as change makers, activists, innovators, and philanthropists. The 5 personalities we honor today symbolize and consecrate AUB's mission and values, the values that it was founded on and adheres to, serving as beacons of hope and bastions of liberal thought. Serving, as AUB does, as champions of transformative, inclusive, and holistic learning, and as advocates of engaged citizenship and servant leadership. Our honorands have stayed true to their values and continued to serve despite constant challenges. They have innovated solutions. They have boldly sought and expressed the truth. And they have harnessed knowledge for the betterment of mankind. Through their leadership, innovation, and service, these distinguished individuals inspire us, and they contribute to a more humane, inclusive, educated, and peaceful global society. As we welcome these inspirational leaders to the AUB family of recipients of the doctorate degree honoris causa, we hold them up as paragons of engaged citizenship who exemplify our belief in the power of knowledge and citizen leadership to advance the public good. May I ask the University Provost, Professor Zahir Dawi, to please join me on the stage. Provost. I would like to invite the Nobel laureate, leader for peace, philanthropist, one of the most influential and innovative businesswomen in Africa today, Widad Bishmawi, to come to the rostrum. Widad Bishmawi, winner of the Nobel Peace Prize in 2015, honored by world leaders and named Best Businesswoman of the Arab World in 2013. With your vision and your leadership, you have seen the suffering of your country, Tunisia, and have taken it upon yourself to decisively steer it away from a socio-political crisis, and indeed war. You impacted a national transformation as a key collaborator of the Tunisian National Dialogue Quartet, and you have skillfully demonstrated again and again that there is always room for dialogue and stability as an alternative to violence. The result was the historic, peaceful building of pluralistic democracy in the wake of the 2011 revolution. Through your vision and your leadership, you have worked unremittingly to move your country from a potential civil war to a more pluralistic, transparent, and collaborative democracy, one continuing the long, difficult march to shared governance. Thank you for continuing to show us ever more meaningful in today's circumstances, to show us that change is always possible, peace is always in everyone's best interest, and it is indeed everyone's responsibility to find solutions to emerging and overwhelming problems. By virtue of the authority vested in me by our Board of Trustees, I hereby confer upon you, Widad Bishmawi, the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities pertaining thereto. Mr. Provost, please put Dr. Bishmawi.
Thank you so much. Your Excellencies, very honorable students, deans, professors, trustees, parents, I'm so honored to be here. Ladies and gentlemen, I consider an honorary doctorate from the American University of Beirut a great honor and a very exceptional recognition For me, as a woman coming from the land of Carthage, where Alyssa once settled after setting sail from this very beautiful land. History has linked both of our countries, Tunisia and Lebanon, since the beginning of time, and it still does. And I'm so proud to be here today. For this, I would like to express my sincere gratitude, especially to you, the Dr. Fadlo Khuri. We are all striving to redefine our own role in the world and make a difference. As a member of the Tunisian Quartet Nobel Peace Prize, I feel deeply grateful to receive this honor from such a prestigious, long-established institution of higher education and research. President Roosevelt once said, "Nobody cares how much you know until they know how much you care." And I do care. Thank you so much.
May I ask the preeminent philosopher, scientist, educator, visionary, Dr. Daniel Dennett, to please step forward. Daniel Dennett, cognitive scientist, author of numerous foundational books. Your groundbreaking contributions to fields ranging from philosophy to neuroscience, cognitive psychology, artificial intelligence, have revolutionized thought in the most complex, perplexing, and relevant issues of our time. Holding fast to the concept that the work of the philosopher is contiguous with the work of the natural scientist, you see science as the foundation for exploring the fundamental philosophical concepts, and you advance knowledge and enhance understanding about what it means to be human. You have educated legions, inspired academics, and mentored leaders. As you boldly question fundamental assumptions in areas such as consciousness, evolution, faith, and free will, as you relentlessly pursue fundamental truths for deeper comprehension of human existence, you, Dr. Dennett, embody critical inquiry, curiosity, and the pursuit of knowledge. By virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees, I hereby confer upon you, Daniel Dennett, the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities pertaining thereto here in the university you grew up in.
First, I cannot adequately express the honor I feel to be among these 4 other people getting degrees. I am in awe of all of them, and it has been a great privilege to be able to meet them all. Now, when I was 5 years old, my family lived here in Beirut, and I attended the nursery school run by AUB for faculty children. When house guests asked me if I was going to school, I proudly replied, "Yes, I'm going to AUB." Well, I was precocious, I guess, but not that precocious. My parents met at AUB in the 1930s, where my father was teaching and researching, and my mother was teaching at American Community School. So I owe my very existence to the intellectual and artistic magnetism that drew my parents to this beautiful place. So for over 3/4 of a century, I've considered AUB my alma mater, my academic home. I was honored to be a visiting professor here in 2011 and was very impressed with the students and faculty I worked with then and with the outstanding sense of mission here. Academic freedom requires political freedom, and political freedom requires constant, informed attention if it is to survive at all. We're counting on AUB to continue its traditions, spreading its wisdom and tolerance far and wide, and educating the leaders of tomorrow's democracies, as it has done for over 150 years. I am grateful for this honor, and like many of you, I am proud to say that I finally have a degree from AUB.
Dr. Vagelos could not be with us today and will be awarded his Doctor of Humane Letters at the AUB North American Alumni Conference in Boston on October 1st. Pindaros Roy Vagelos, son of Greece, prominent physician, biomedical scientist, business leader, head of Merck, and currently chairman of the board at Regeneron, a leading biotechnology firm working on innovative medicines. With his profound belief in the power of science to improve people's lives, Roy has been committed to excellence in both science and philanthropy. A committed teacher, mentor, a matchless leader, a stellar, celebrated scientist, he mentored a generation of basic and translational scientists, and he gave the pharmaceutical world a moral core. 5 of his protégés, like him, became elected members of the National Academy of Sciences. He's excelled as a physician, researcher, mentor, academic scientist, and as a leader, even before he propelled Merck & Co. to global success by developing the economically losing proposition of a drug for African river blindness. Through that, he saved the sight of millions of human beings. His dedication and his passion to helping others is further embodied by his widespread philanthropy and his unwavering support for education. Understanding the transformative power of philanthropy, he and his wife, Diana, have generously supported numerous worthy causes, particularly empowering students to be debt-free through transformative gifts to Columbia University and the University of Pennsylvania, ensuring that thousands of the best and brightest students will graduate debt-free. Congratulations to Dr. Vagelos, who's watching from the United States. May I now invite to the rostrum renowned pediatrician, social justice champion, indefatigable force for good, Dr. Hanna-Atisha, who will be our first commencement speaker today. Hanna-Atisha, award-winning scientist, activist, author. As a champion of children's health and a global leader in the fight against environmental injustice, you demonstrated again and again the vital role of evidence-based scientific research in protecting those most vulnerable. You investigated the previously unquestioned levels of lead in Flint, Michigan's drinking water. Despite repeated attempts to silence and intimidate you, you were relentless in exposing the man-made crisis at great risk to your career and your safety. Your outspoken national advocacy has led to policy change and has led recovery efforts. As the founding donor of the Flint Child Health and Development Fund and the founder and director of the Michigan State University in Hurley Children's Hospital Pediatric Public Health Initiative. You've taken your battle onward and ever upward. Selected as one of the world's most influential and one of America's most exceptional personalities, your dedication to attaining and telling the truth are indeed an inspiration to all knowledge seekers and to providers. By virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees, I hereby confer upon you, Hanna-Atisha, the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities pertaining thereto. Mr. Provost.
Shukran. Alif Mabruk to all the amazing graduates. What an incredible honor to be here. Mabruk, another round of applause for all of you. Thank you, President Khuri. Thank you to the trustees, the faculty, the family, everybody who is here today. Congratulations to my fellow honorands who are incredible people. I am so honored to be here. Graduates, you did it. And as said before, your path has not been easy. In addition to the usual demands of graduate school, the exams, the tests, the late nights, the finals, the essays, the papers, everything, you have survived a global pandemic, economic collapse, political turmoil, and crisis after crisis. You have been tested, and you have absolutely persevered. Fueled by the power of this place, you are the next to emerge from this center of knowledge. And I'm sure a lot of you are thinking, like, how amazing it is to be graduating from AUB. And like, it is totally amazing, right? It is amazing that you guys are graduating. It is amazing. Just the name alone, AUB, will open doors. It has opened thousands of doors. But I will tell you something. It is AUB that is proud of you and proud of what you will do. And as much as you are wrapped in the history, traditions, and legends of this place is only as great as you are and as great as you will be. And as this university rises, always on the shoulders of its graduates, this world, our world, depends on the work that you will do. Do not let this moment today be your ceiling. Today is not your finish line. It is your beginning. You are powerfully poised to be the most influential generation of our time. Despite the challenges of the last few years, your generation has been the leading voice for change. In each of you, there is a clarity of vision of how the world should be, not the imperfect place that it is. Like never before, you have stood up and demanded justice, democracy, equality, and opportunity. You know, sometimes hope is the hardest thing to find. But being here today with you all I see is hope everywhere, in every single one of you. You are the hope that we send out into the world. And maybe that's what AUB does best, educating ambassadors of hope. I think there's probably like an incubator of hope on campus. Like, I think it's in the president's house. I've seen it. Like, you are that beacon of hope. Because for generations, AUB alumni have been spreading hope around the world. And I want to quickly share one AUB family story, and I know there's thousands of AUB family stories, but this one's from my family. And it's a story that informs my social justice roots, a story that resonates with our current political reality, and a hopeful story that brings us together. It was a different generation. 99 years ago, in 1923, my great uncle Nouri left Baghdad. Any Iraqis out there? Let's hear you. There's no Iraqis? None? Okay, there's some. Well, there were back in the day. So in 1923, he left Baghdad and he came here to AUB, to this beautiful campus, and he walked where you walked, and he studied where you studied, and he made lifelong and life-saving friends here. And a spark was lit, a vision that made him see how the world could be and should be. His time here cemented a lifetime of idealism and activism, a lifetime fighting for justice. After graduating from AUB, he went to Boston, to MIT, and he got kicked out of school because he was like a little activist, but he went back to Iraq. And when he was in Iraq, he founded a group called the Association Against Imperialism and Fascism. I mean, like, who wouldn't join that group now? A group against fascism? And with fellow AUB alumni, he helped create a new and independent country. And then in 1937, in what was another most dangerous and momentous of times, Nouri, as one of 2 Iraqis and a handful of Arabs, traveled to Spain to fight Franco and the fascists during the Spanish Civil War. As an International Brigade volunteer, he joined thousands of freedom fighters from across the world. And they believed in this borderless progressive cause. It wasn't about loyalty to a certain race or religion or even country. It was loyalty to justice, equality, and freedom for all. After being held in a French concentration camp, Nouri escaped by a fellow AUB classmate who was working at the Iraqi consulate in Paris. He saved his life. So big lesson, stay connected with your classmates. You never know when they're gonna have to save your life and forge some documents for you or something. But like so many AUB alumni, Nouri used the knowledge, the skills, the friendships that he made here to make the world better. He bravely stood up and risked his life fighting for justice, not because it was easy, but because it was the right thing to do. He was driven by an unwavering hope in a tomorrow that was better than today. Not only is Nouri's story this like quintessential AUB story, but it's part of the fabric of my family history. It has shaped my parents who are here with me, and it has shaped me and the path that has placed me in front of you today. My story is about another fight for justice that happened not too long ago in Flint, Michigan. In some ways, Flint is like so many places in the Middle East, once with limitless promise, now devastated by greed and corruption, devastated by colonial policies and practices. The state took away our democracy, and it was governed by unelected and unaccountable figureheads. In other words, it was kind of like an occupation. And Flint's drinking water was poisoned. And when I tried to protect my kids, I ran up against a willful blindness and indifference to certain people, problems, and places. So many people had their eyes closed, but I could only see. As a first-generation Arab American, I was taught that we take care of each other and our communities, no matter where that community may be. That we fight for justice when we ever so acutely see injustice, and that we try to make the world a better place. My fight in Flint was driven by these values. It was hard, but I fought back with science and solidarity and maybe a little bit of Arab stubbornness and loudness. Do we have some of that here, that Arab stubbornness and loudness? Woo! and I helped uncover one of the most egregious environmental and public health injustices of our time. And since then, I have been sharing our playbook of resistance and writing prescriptions for hope. Thank you. My story and Nuri's story, they are your stories. It's about who we are and who we want to be. I urge you to use the tools you learned here and the tools you will continue to acquire to each be a piece of the answer. I urge you to keep your eyes open, to stay vigilant, curious, and compassionate, to keep doing the hard things for the right reasons, and most importantly, to be the bright beacons of hope throughout the world. I urge you, because I believe in you. I believe in every single one of you. You have already proven your determination and your unyielding vision for a better tomorrow. Remember, today is only the beginning. Tomorrow, you will all open fresh books with blank pages. You get to decide how to fill them. I can't wait for that tomorrow. Shukran and mabruk. Thank you.
Come on, guys, cheer like you're undergraduates. Seriously, the medical students, you're not competing with each other anymore, and you guys too. May I ask the longtime president of Birzeit University and our second commencement speaker for this evening, Dr. Hanna Nasir, to please step forward. Hanna Nasir, son of Palestine, son of the American University of Beirut, academic and political icon who directed the transition at Birzeit University from a secondary school through a community college to an accredited, world-renowned university, even while in exile from Palestine and in the face of much persecution and resistance. As the university's first and longtime president, you cajoled, drove, argued, fought, and willed Birzeit University to become one of the region's finest universities. Despite the formidable obstacles that you, your university, and your country have faced on a daily, sometimes hourly basis over the years, you materialized your untiring vision to create a model refuge for Palestinian students to study in their homeland. You adopted innovative mechanisms. You recruited, you fostered, you protected a devoted faculty with an unwavering commitment to teaching and to the development and independent future of the Palestinian people. A role model and an academic warrior for the right to equal opportunity, inclusion, and access to education. You have rightly been recognized worldwide for championing the advancement of Birzeit University and supporting the Palestinian community. Today, your university recognizes you. By virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees, I hereby confer upon you, Hanna Nasir, the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities pertaining thereto. Mr. Provost.
شو بدي احكي؟ لا احكي. انا طبعا بشكر الجامعة الأمريكية في بيروت ورئيسها الدكتور فضل خوري على هذه الكرمات الكريمة. أشكر أعضاء مجلس أمناء
الجامعة الأمريكية في بيروت على تكريمهم لي في هذا الحفل المهيب. بس أنا بدي أقول لكم شغلة قبل ما أكمل. أول شيء أنا مش راح أعطيكم لا إرشادات ولا وعظ كرئيس جامعة سابق، بس بدي أقول لكم أنا كنت في الأي يو بي وأخذت شهادة الماجستير والبكالوريوس. عمري ما طلعت على هاي المنصة لسببين: للماجستير مرضت، للبكالوريوس سقطت 3 مرات بالتاريخ. ولا يهمكم اسقطوا ولا يهمكم. اتعلمت درس ماكن ولكنه مفيد. تعلمت انه لكل كبوة في صحوة وبالتالي أنا شاكر جدا على هذا التكريم، شاكر ومتأثر جدا، لأنه والدي ما حب يصدقش هذا الكلام قبل أكثر من 100 سنة، سنة 1914 كمان تخرج من الاي يو بي بنفس نوع الشهادة اللي أنا تخرجت منها بالفيزياء. وكمان ألقى حفل كلمة التخرج لكنه كان من الأوائل، بس قال لي إنه ما كانش في غيره بصف الفيزياء. شو بدي أحكي في هالبلد؟ بالطبع فيش تفنيص هون كان في الاي يو بي. لما بتسقط بتروح عند مستر فلحان بقول لك ساقط انت، بتجرب تجادل بقول لك راسب. بتجادل اكثر لا في جدل ولا ما يمكن. انا الحقيقه اليوم أنا متاسف لاني بشعر بتاثر كبير اكون في الاي يو بي، لاني كنت انا الحقيقه عندي مكتبين، مكتب كجراديويت ستودنت اسيستنت، كان عندي مكتب بدائره الفيزياء اللي هي على الكورنيش، كل النهار نتفرج على البحر وعلى اللي بيسبحوا بس بيناتنا. وكان عندي مكتب في الاوبزرفاتوري اللي هي قريبه على الماركند هاوس، وكنت هناك في عندهم تلسكوب من اجمل ما يمكن. انا يعني هذه هوايه اللي كانت التلسكوبات، عندهم تلسكوب من اجمل ما يمكن، وكنت اقعد هناك ساعات اراقب النجوم. مرات كنا نحوله للدورمتريز شيء البنات. كمان ما تقولوش هذا الحكي لحدا. مرة اجت زارتنا وانا في المرصد، زارتني رئيس الجامعة كنتش اعرفها، وكان معها وحدة من السعودية بفتكر كانوا بيعملوا فند ريزنج، وفرجيتها أنا. كان يوم أحد، المسؤول عن المرصد ما كانش موجود هناك، فرجيتهم أنا على المرصد وخليتها تطلع. فبعد ما خلصت، أنا كنت طالب جراديويت، طلبت من جبتها ساعة وأعطتني بالطبع. أنا أخذت الساعة، يعني زي كل واحد بيأخذ الساعة، ورحت على الصف ثاني يوم بتفلسف ومهيص إنه أنا معي ساعة. فسمعني بروفيسور بروين، ما بعرفش إذا حدا من عائلة بروين لساتها موجودة بالاي يو بي، بس هذا بالستينات. قال لي كيف بتاخذ الساعة إلك؟ هذا مش إلك. فرحت أنا على دائرة الفيزياء على دكتورة سلوى نصار، كانت يعني من الأساتذة المهمين جدا، والدكتور أنطوان زحلان. قلت لهم معقولة إنه هذه الساعة مش إلي؟ قالوا لي لا، لازم تعطيها اي يو بي لدائرة الفيزياء. والحقيقة كمان هذا درس مهم اتعلمته، انه كل شيء اللي بتحصل عليه كهدايا وانت بالجامعة كأستاذ او كطالب او كجراديويت هو فعلا بيرجع للجامعة الأمريكية في بيروت. فبالطبع شلحت الساعة بنوع من الأسى وقدمتها لدائرة الفيزياء، وأعطوها لأحد الطلاب اللي كان شارك في حفلة اختبارات وما شابه. أنا حقيقة اليوم بدي أحكي، إذا بعرف أشوف الورقة لأنه حطوا علي ضوابط مهمة في الاي يو بي، إنه مش لازم تكون أكثر من 5 دقائق. بدي أجرب أحكي 5 دقائق بسرعة. ما هيك؟ هاي الشطارة. هي 10 دقائق بس بدي أحكيها ب5. أنا الحقيقة بدأ بدي أحكي عن تجربة شخصية الحقيقة حول تطوير كلية بيرزيت إلى جامعة، والحقيقة مستلهم كثير في حياتي من تجربتي في الAUB. تجربة الحقيقة غنية جدا في الAUB، غنية لأن أنا كنت أجي على الAUB وقتها سموها هون في بيروت على الطزطيزة، كنت أجي من الميديكال سكول ما يلحقش يوقفني البواب على الميديكال سكول، فكنت أمزط وأصل للفيزيكس ديبارتمنت. والفيزيكس ديبارتمنت الحقيقة كانت فيها دكتورة سلوى نصار وأنطوان زحلان وأساتذة متميزين. أنا لا أعرف إذا هن الناس تذكرهم، بس أنطوان زحلان يعني كان من المتميزين في الأرب بوليسيز وما شابه. وسلوى نصار عالمة، كانت الحقيقة عالمة من أوائل العالمات أو من أوائل اللي أخذوا الدكتوراه في الفيزياء. ولكن تصوروا أنه قبل ما تأخذ الدكتوراه في الفيزياء كان في كثير ناس يجوا على فلسطين من لبنان، وكانت درست سلوى نصار في بيرزيت سنة 38. فالعلاقة بين بيروت، بين لبنان وبين فلسطين، هي علاقة جذرية بشكل هائل. والحقيقة أنا بدأ اهتمامي بموضوع التعليم من مدرسة بيرزيت اللي أسستها عمتي نبيها ناصر. وأنتم إذا بتعرفوش كيف الستات في فلسطين أبطال السيدات هناك في فلسطين. عمتي نبيها كانت ملهمة لي ولكل الطلاب. كانت دائما تحكي عن العمل الاجتماعي الوطني التربوي إلى آخره. والحقيقة أنا تأثرت جدا من هذا التعليم ومن هذه الآراء اللي كانت تبث فيه وفي كل طلاب المدرسة. لما جيت على الAUB تأثرت بشكل هائل من شخص خاص اللي هو كان نائب رئيس الجامعة بفتكر، الدكتور قسطنطين زريق، ولابد اسمه تعرفوه، وهو يعني يمكن من أهم الشخصيات العربية، وهو الذي أرسى كلمة النكبة، نكبة 48 هو اللي ذكر عنها إنها هي النكبة. وكنت أزوره في البيت، طبعا مش على قده، بس كنت أزوره لأنه بنته المرحوم الهام زريق كانت معي بالصف في الفيزياء، وكنت أزوره هناك وأسمع وأستمع للدكتور قسطنطين زريق. والحقيقة اللي ما حصل له يسمع قسطنطين زريق بيكون خسر إشي كثير في حياته. هو كان أب للقومية العربية، وخسرته مش الجامعة الأمريكية في بيروت، خسر الوطن العربي بهذه الثقافة المتميزة. ترخوا لي شوي. الحقيقة الاحتلال فاجأنا في 1967، فاجأنا لأنه ما كانش في، دخل على البلد ب5 أيام تقريبا في هاي الأوقات في عام 67. أنا كنت أدرس في الولايات المتحدة، وفي نفس الوقت حزيران 67 أخذت شهادة الدكتوراه بالفيزياء، وصار همي الأساسي إنه أرجع على الوطن. ولما رجعت على فلسطين كان في الأول سهل واحد يقطع الجسر وينزل من تحت المي ومن هون لهون. المهم لقيت إنه الاهتمام المهم أو الإشي الأساسي إنه نرجع كل الفلسطينيين اللي بيقدروا سيبوهم من أمريكا وأوروبا وأي بلد تاني ويرجعوا حتى يديروا بالهم على فلسطين اللي على غفلة وقع عليها هذا الظلم الهائل. وكان في الجامعات والطلاب كانوا وأهل الطلاب في حيص وبيص، في حيص بيص يعني. كان اللي بده يطلع يتعلم بالخارج بده أشهر حتى يقدم تصريح لقوات الاحتلال لسلطات الاحتلال، وإذا طلع صعب إنه يرجع على فلسطين. وبالتالي كان في إمكانية لتفريغ الوطن من الشابات والشبان، وهو أخطر ما يمكن أن نفكر فيه إنه يصير في فلسطين، إنه تتفرغ. وهي سياسة بالطبع، سياسة الاحتلال بدون ما تحكي. تعطي تصريح لواحد بيطلع بأخذ شهادته من الAUB، بيقدرش يرجع مرة تانية، واحد ورا الثاني واحد ورا الثاني وبترجع. فإحنا كنا 3 في بيرزيت، 3 خريجين الAUB، دكتور جابي برامكي رحمه الله، أستاذ رمزي ريحان وأنا، وقررنا مجابهة هذا الموضوع بجرأة كبيرة. وفعلا قررنا نطور كلية بيرزيت من كلية اللي فيها صف جامعي أول وصف جامعي ثاني إلى جامعة. وأعلنا عن ذلك في عام 74 في حزيران في حفلة تخرج زي هاي. بالطبع حفلة التخرج كانت قاعة صغيرة تسعش أكثر من 50-60 طالب، وأعلنا أنه بيرزيت ستصبح جامعة في نهاية هذا العام أو طوالي. وقامت قيامة سلطات الاحتلال. ما تحسبوا أنه إحنا أبطال كنا يعني، بس إحنا كنا مؤمنين أنه التعليم ما في تنسيق مع الاحتلال، والتعليم العالي هو تعليم فلسطيني 100%. وما حدا بيتدخل في التعليم. وجابهتنا بالطبع مشاكل متعددة وقتها، مشاكل متعددة. أنا أبعدت إلى جنوب لبنان وعشت في لبنان هنا لمدة طويلة من الزمن، ورجعت بعد 19 سنة. هذه قصة شخصية، ولكن أهم شيء أنه قدرنا نحول بيرزيت بسرعة إلى جامعة. وفي الأيام الأولى من ما صارت جامعة عدد المداهمات والإغلاقات للجامعة وكانت يمكن أكثر من أيام الدوام اللي في الجامعة، ولكن بصبر وبقوة تمكنا أنه نكمل الجامعة ونخرج الطلاب. وأول خريجين الطلاب كانوا بالسنة 76 والناس صفقت بشكل هائل لأول ثورة تعليمية في داخل فلسطين. إحنا ما سكتناش على هذا الضيم على الإغلاقات وإشي، ولكن فتحنا مجابهة كبيرة في المؤسسات الدولية، في اليونسكو، في محافل حقوق الإنسان. وكان الحقيقة من الناس البارزين في هذه العملية الإعلام ناس اللي تخرجوا من الAUB زيكم، دكتورة حنان عشراوي لابد سامعين فيها، ألبرت أغازريان كان مسؤول العلاقات العامة. فإحنا إحنا قدرنا نجهز العالم كله. يعني في اليونسكو كان يسألني المدير العام ايش المشكله في بيرزيت؟ ليش دائما بتقدموا شكاوي؟ قلت له احنا ما بنقدمش شكاوي، احنا بس بنقول لكم ايش الوضع اللي في فلسطين. الاحتلال يغلق جامعه باستمرار ونحن بالطبع صامدين على الارض. مش بس صامدين، كان يجي على بيرزيت على جامعه بيرزيت وقتها طلاب من الجليل، هاي المنطقه اللي احتلت قبل عند ال 48. في طلاب من الجليل، من غزه اللي كانوا مش جزء من الضفة الغربية ومن الضفة الغربية. وبالتالي صارت جامعة بيرزيت كأنه وطن جديد للفلسطينية اللي كل فئات الشعب الفلسطيني متركزة في جامعة بيرزيت. والحقيقة هذا منظر مؤثر جدا، إنه تشوف الناس اللي عمرك ما شفته من أول. غزة كانت منقسمة والجليل منقسم والضفة الغربية في مكان، فالثلاثة تجمعوا كلهم في جامعة بيرزيت. وأنا بشعر إنه هذا يمكن من أهم الإنجازات، إنه وحدنا الفلسطينيين في هذا المكان الصغير. بالطبع احنا بيرزيت مش الوحيد اللي تطورت إلى كلية، تطور عدة مؤسسات، وصار الآن في فلسطين يمكن جامعات ومؤسسات تربوية عالية تغطي كل التخصصات اللي مطلوبة. وبالتالي ساهمنا مساهمة كبيرة في صمود الشعب الفلسطيني على أرضه ووطنه دون أن يذهب إلى الخارج. وصمود الشعب الفلسطيني على أرضه ربما تكون أهم عمل مجتمعي وطني تمكنا أن نقوم به. بالطبع هذا من الناحية الإيجابية، لكن بضل إشي محزن إنه حتى الآن من 67 حتى الآن ما زالت فلسطين تئن بسبب الاحتلال. تئن بسبب الاحتلال اللي صار له أكثر من 50 سنة جاثم على قلوبنا. تأنه من الاحتلال، تأنه من شيء ثاني اللي مش لازم نغطي عيننا عنه، واللي هو انقسام داخلي رهيب بين أكبر حركات فلسطينية، أكبر حركات ثورية في الداخل، بين حركة فتح وبين حركة حماس. والحقيقة في حدا من البورد اوف ترستيز اللي هو الأخ منيب مصري كثير متعامل من أجل رأب الصدع. بدون رأب هذا الصدع لا يمكن أن تنجح في فلسطين في إزالة الاحتلال. علينا أن ننهي النزاع الداخلي وتعود اللحمة مرة ثانية للشعب الفلسطيني حتى يتمكن أن ينهي هذا الاحتلال البغيض. في نفس الوقت أنا بقول لكم، ورغم كل هاي المآسي اللي موجودة في البلد، في شباب وشابات زيكم وناس أكبر، رجال ورجالات، اللي مؤمنين بزوال الاحتلال. ولازم تعرفوا إنه لما صارت جنازة شيرين أبو عاقلة ابنة القدس البارة هذه، إنه توحد كل الشعب الفلسطيني، توحد كل الشعب الفلسطيني في الداخل وفي الخارج، ورفرفت الأعلام الفلسطينية تؤكد لنا أن زوال الاحتلال آت لا مجال للشك بذلك. أنا الحقيقة شاكر مرة ثانية للدكتور فضلو ومجلس الأمناء والأساتذة لتكريمي، وأنا بشعر شكر كمان لكم لأنه أنا جيت على حفل التخرج بتاعكم. وهذه بيروت يمكن زمان ما زرتها، وهي البلد المضيافة، وآمل أن تستلهموا دائما من الجامعة الأمريكية في بيروت كما استلهمت أنا على مدى حياتي. وشكرا جزيلا لكم.
أنا لا هو خليك معي. Could we please have the honorands for a group picture? لا أنت اقعد. بعدين حنا رجع. We have to take a picture with the four honorands. بعدين فيك تخطب. شو؟ ألف مبروك. لأنه هون مع the university. Please, near the provost.
Yeah.
هلا مش نتصور. هذاك اللي لازم تقعده، هذاك قاعد. Thank you, Dr. Nasir. Thank you, honorands. We're going to have a musical interlude performed by the AUB's Classical Music Club. This musical interlude will be Ombra Mai Fu, aria from the opera Xerxes by Georg Friedrich Handel, and it will be performed by Jawad Haddad on the trumpet and Wiam Haddad on the organ. Jawad, Wiam, and we'll graduate you guys.
Mr. President, recommendations for degrees to be conferred today have already been made by the various faculties of the university. In accordance with established procedures, the candidates who have satisfactorily completed all the requirements and are deemed worthy by the University Senate to be awarded degrees will now be presented to you by their respective dean. President Khuri, I call upon you to confer the degrees.
Mr. President, as the interim Mamdouha Sayyid Bobs Dean of the Faculty of Arts and Sciences, and on behalf of my colleagues of the faculty, I have the honor to present to you the candidates for the degrees of Doctor of Philosophy, Master of Arts, and Master of Science. Will all the candidates please rise?
By virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees, I hereby confer upon you the degrees for which you have completed all the requirements and express the hope that your learning will lead you to advance knowledge in or enrich the practice of your chosen field. Congratulations, graduates.
I now call upon the graduates from the Faculty of Arts and Sciences to come to the stage.
Candidates for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy in Cell and Molecular Biology. Samar Fadi Albitar. Alisar Atif Munzir. Candidates for the degree of Master of the Arts, Ghalia Ahmad Munkith Al-Alwani. Jan Al-Tanner. Mohammed Hassan Nidal Bezzi. Sophie Blumeke. Hannah Jihad Dbaibo. Zaina Adel Ghanem. Serene Noureddin Al-Ghanouchi. Reem Mustafa Al-Haj Ali. Elizabeth Diana Hanna. Dana Hossam Hawalla. Fatima Bassam Jabir. Helena Kork Karakazian. Ahmad Ghazi Qasim. Yana Mazankova. Khadija Mustafa Muqbil. Leila Ali Muzahim. Jana Fuad Nasir. Inas Wafiq Al-Nawam. Jinan Mahmoud Uthman. Mirna Abdul Hafiz Rislan. Marlon Sophie Rao. George Jean Saadi. Hussein Ali Sharafuddin. Zainab Ismail As-Sibai. Jad Ibrahim Tabit. Candidates for the degree of Master of Science: Reem Ghassan Ashur. Reem Nabil Alamuddin. Estefan Kirakos Ashkarian. Laura Khalid Balbaki. Maryam Ali Barakat. Sahag Satrak Bozoyan. Fatat Bilal Adahaibi. Sarah Ghanem Ghazali. Nigogos Havonis Kalajian. Sarah Bassem Qatarji. Sami Bilal Shamsuddin. Christina Edouard At-Tawil. Amira Ajaj Yassin. Haneen Bashir Zakaria.
May I ask the Dean of the Faculty of Medicine to join me?
Mr. President, as the Raja N. Khuri Dean of the Faculty of Medicine, and on behalf of my colleagues of the faculty, I have the honor to present to you the candidates of the degrees of Doctor of Philosophy in Biomedical Sciences, Doctor of Medicine, and Master of Science. Will the students awarded the degree of Doctor of Medicine please rise? In our profession, it is a custom established more than 2,000 years ago that all those admitted to the honors of the profession must first expressly take upon themselves its obligations. Now, therefore, on behalf of your elders, I call upon you to take, as we have taken before you, the oath which bears the name of Hippocrates. I shall read to you the pledge, after which you will be asked to signify your acceptance of it. Will the faculty members of the Faculty of Medicine please rise? In the spirit of Hippocrates, I do solemnly pledge before my teachers and all those present to be true to this oath. I will be loyal to the ideals of the profession of medicine and its tradition of service to all human beings. I will care for my fellow human beings with compassion, empathy, and kindness. I will follow that treatment which, according to my ability and judgment, I consider for the benefit of patients while respecting their choices and beliefs. I will abstain from whatever is deleterious and mischievous and will not perform any medical procedure for criminal purposes. In the presence of epidemics or other danger, I will not allow fear or concern for personal harm to turn me from my duty. Whatever I see or hear in the lives of people which ought not to be spoken abroad, I will keep secret. All my professional acts shall be for the benefit of the sick to the utmost of my power, holding myself aloof from any act of corruption or discrimination. In purity and uprightness, I will pass my life and practice my art, while I continue to keep this oath inviolate. May it be granted to me to enjoy life and the practice of the art, respected by people at all times. Do you so promise? I do. Thank you. In keeping of this pledge, may each one of you be granted a long life of service and the privilege of honoring the profession which today honors you. Will my colleagues of the faculty please be seated?
We could wait until you're quiet. By virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees, I hereby confer upon you the degrees for which you have completed all the requirements and express the hope that your learning will lead you to advance knowledge in or enrich the practice of your chosen field.
Thank you, Mr. President. I now call upon the graduates from the Faculty of Medicine to come to the stage.
Candidates for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy in Biomedical Sciences, رنا علي علاء الدين. حنين سالم دويب. Candidates for the degree of Doctor of Medicine. Ten rows. The dean has to announce it.
Will be the recipient of the Penrose Award from the Faculty of Medicine for 2022. Will Sahar Assi please come to the stage?
Sahar also graduated with distinction and elected to the Gold Humanism Honor Society. Suhaib Ahmed Abdel Fattah. William Abi Antoun Abi Khalil. Paula Tufi Abi Habib. May Firas Abiad, elected to the Gold Humanism Honor Society. Bilal Fathi Abu Al-Ardat. Jonathan Tony Abu Shar. Ala Rabia Abu Dahir. Anas Muhammad Walid Al-Hafi. Joel Yusuf Allam. Hind Muhammad Anan, elected to the Gold Humanism Honor Society. Ahmed Jamal Anouti. Natasha Omar Sheikh Al-Ard. Ahmed Ibrahim Asif. Noor Muhammad Ayoub, distinction, elected to the Gold Humanism Honor Society and elected to the Alpha Omega Alpha Honor Medical Society and the Naji Sahyun Award. Amanda Mahmoud Azakir. Joe David George Azzo. محمود غسان البعصيري. إيمانويل بيرو باسيل. هادي أكرم البعيني. جوزيف حبيب بجاني. رومي بيير بجاني. لياس جوزيف بوفرحات. ميكايل فينسنت بستاني. لارا سعيد شعبان. شادي محمد شمس الدين. شربل إيميل شدياء. سمير أنطوني أنطوان داغر. دارين خالد ظاهر. Distinction, elected to the Gold Humanism Honor Society, elected to the Alpha Omega Alpha Honor Medical Society. George Yusuf Domat, elected to the Gold Humanism Honor Society. David Sirob Dushfonian. Malika Abdel Amir Al Haj Hassan, elected to the Gold Humanism Honor Society. Noor Muhammad Al Musawi. Omar Salam Azzuddin. Anthony Edmond Fadel, distinction. Faris Jean-Claude Fahd, elected to the Gold Humanism Honor Society. Seema Fuad Fansa. Emile Antoine Farah. Maria Bshara Fetti. Hani Milad Faisal. Rashan Muhammad Ghandour. Diane Asmat Ghanem. Marwan Joseph Ghanem, elected to the Gold Humanism Honor Society. Rashad George Saab Al-Ghazal. Ryan Asad Joel Ghazal, distinction. Joseph Anthony Al-Ghubayra. Carl John Fathi Habashi, distinction, elected to the Alpha Omega Alpha Honor Medical Society. Leah Jean-Philippe Habib, elected to the Gold Humanism Honor Society. Ralph Mkhail Habis. Anthony Faiz Haddad. طارق زياد الحج شحادي. لين محمد حجار. لينا محمد نزار حمد. هادي سمير حمدان. محمد سامر حمدان. روان علي حمود, elected to the Gold Humanism Honor Society. زينب علي حمود. طارق محمد خالد حرب. حسين محمود حريري. بشار عواد حسن, elected to the Gold Humanism Honor Society and elected to the Alpha Omega Alpha Honor Medical Society. طه محمد حطب. دنيا عماد خالد الحطبي. رواد داوود الحايك. دانا حسين هزيمة. مايا محسن هزيمة. رولا سهيل عيتاني, elected to the Gold Humanism Honor Society. ستيفاني كلود كرم. معتز علي قصاص, distinction. كاساندرا فادي كفوري. إليسا سليم خليل. حسين محمد خروبي, distinction, elected to the Alpha Omega Alpha Honor Medical Society. وديع إدمون خوري. رمزي بلال الكبي. جنى محمد قبيسي, distinction, elected to the Alpha Omega Alpha Honor Medical Society. روان داوود قرمان. حسام هيثم لبابيدي. ميشيل جابرييل معلولي. سعد عبد الكريم المجذوب الصباغ. أدهم فهد مكارم. إلهام غسان منصور. جايل بيير مسعود. مارك وكيم مكرزل. حورية كمال الموسى. جيسيكا جمال مروي. فانيسا جمال مروي. دودي محمود نشابي. سولا حسن نصرة. زينب أحمد نصر الله. Malik Junior Malik Naifi, distinction elected to the Gold Humanism Honor Society. Muhammad Jamal Eddin Jalal Abed. Tala Basim Ramadan. Mansour Emil Riyashi. ريم حسام صعب. مريم عبد سعد الدين, elected to the Gold Humanism Honor Society. Christine Nadim Saber. تالا بسام الصالح. ليا نيكول ريمون صايغ, distinction. جيمي سليمان السبعلي. كريم أندري سيف الدهان. جون هيثم سرحان. عبد الحفيظ محمد التنير. باسل رمزي طفيلي. جورج جوزيف تومية, elected to the Gold Humanism Honor Society. ريم مروان يونس. جوي أسعد زينون. Candidates for the degree of Master of Science, Annie Ardash Babakhanyan. Candidates for the degree of Master of Science in Biomedical Sciences, Pascal Zahir Abdel Khaliq. Tamara Akram Abdel Samad. Lama Amir Ammar. Ohannes Harutyun Ashikian. Lama Isam Assaf. Yara Elil Atiye. حنين سامي البنا. كلوي أمين برصة. جنى سعيد دقور. آلاء محمد فايز غازي. رنا فراس الحسن. نور طعان عماد. ديانا وليد إسماعيل. نوريس نبيل جابر. كارنا فاتشي جابوتيان. ريم مهدي الجمال. طارق علي جناني. ليا سمير الخراط. تمارا مروان الخطيب. هادي سامي قنيبر. شرب الإلي مشعلاني. سارة محمد علي المصري. سارة فايز المسكي. ريم نجم نجار. هبة فيصل عباد. إبراهيم عبد الرحمن ريداني. هادي وسام صبرا. آية محمد جهاد الصعيدي. داليا ورداني إبراهيم سيف. ماري ميشيل جورج السرغاني. علي فادي طفيلي.
We have some students from the Maroon Samaan Faculty of Engineering and Architecture who want to graduate. May I ask the Dean of the Maroon Samaan Faculty of Architecture and Engineering to please present his candidates.
We changed the name tonight, Mr. President, but I'm happy to do so.
Are you allowing engineers or just architects?
We're going to be graduating the designers of the future. We have graduated so far the caregivers, we've graduated the humanists and the discoverers. Now it's a turn for the makers. So as Dean of the Maroon Samaan Faculty of Engineering and Architecture, and on behalf of my colleagues of the faculty, I have the honor to present to you the candidates for the degrees of Doctor of Philosophy in Civil Engineering, in Electrical and Computer Engineering, in Environmental and Water Resources Engineering, and in Mechanical Engineering. The degree of Master of Engineering with the majors in Applied Energy, Chemical Engineering, Civil Engineering, Electrical and Computer Engineering, Environmental and Water Resources Engineering, and Mechanical Engineering. the degree of Master of Engineering Management, Master of Science in Chemical Engineering, in Energy Studies, and in Environmental Sciences, Master of Urban Design, and Master of Urban Planning and Policy. Will all the candidates please rise?
Okay, my mistake, you jumped the line, but you don't have to sit. By virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees, I hereby confer upon you the degrees for which you have completed all the requirements and express the hope that your learning and knowledge will lead you to advance knowledge in or enrich the practice of your chosen field. Congratulations.
I now call upon the graduates from the Maroon Saman Faculty of Engineering and Architecture to come to the stage.
Candidates for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy in Civil Engineering, Muhammad Ali Al-Haj Hassan. محمد حسان رحال. Candidates for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy in Electrical and Computer Engineering, Hassan Muhammad Shwaikani. عباس محمد صيداوي. Candidates for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy in Mechanical Engineering, Walid Muhammad Jamal Abu Hwayj. علي الهادي إبراهيم قبيسي. أحمد حسن كوراني. فرح خالد منيمني. Candidates for the degree of Master of Engineering, Usama Jihad Abu Ali Ma'dad. محمد سليمان عنتر. رنيم مدثر الشكلي. ميرا اسماعيل ظاهر. حنان محمد دقماق. ران أيوب حماد. مروى مروان اسماعيل. زينب غسان قنصون. أحمد رياض قليط. شفيق عدنان المصري. زينة فخر الدين المصري. غدي ياسر سمية. غنى حسن الطقش. فاطمة غالب يونس. ميشيل ماريو زكريا. جاد سمير زبيبو. محمد جمال لزعني. Candidates for the degree of Master of Science, Ahmed Ali Ayoub.
Candidates for the degree of Master of Engineering Management, Maya Tony Shakhtoura. وائل محمد شامي. إيلي بسام جديد. طارق محمد زياد أبري. جوليان جوزيف سمعان. ديالا أنطوان يزبك. بيتر روبير زامورا. علي وفيق زين الدين. Candidates for the degree of Master of Urban Design, Tala Jamal Al-Hajj. Candidates for the degree of Master of Urban Planning and Policy, Norma Marwan Azzam. نورا شوقي ماضي. رشا شوقي سنان. Candidates for the degree of Master of Science in Biomedical Engineering, Sally Samir Shukr. Ezo Mando. Okay, one. Anthony Sami Freije. يارا أحمد غملوش. جو شربل طنوس. رشا هشام وهب.
May I ask the Dean of the Rafiq Hariri School of Nursing to join us? You guys sat that way to confuse me, and you succeeded.
Mr. President, as the interim dean of the Hariri School of Nursing, and on behalf of the colleagues of the faculty of the school, I have the honor to present to you the candidates for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy in Nursing and Master of Science in Nursing. Will all candidates please rise? They are moving. I don't know why.
I hear the doctors. Nurses, by virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees, I hereby confer upon you the degrees for which you have completed all the requirements and express the hope that your learning will lead you to advance knowledge in or enrich the practice of your chosen field.
I now call upon the graduates from the Rafiq Hariri School of Nursing to come to the stage.
Candidates for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy in Nursing, Amani Bakraydar. Rima Maroon Saad. Candidates for the degree of Master of Science in Nursing, Nanor Mishan Bedwayan. Fatima Muhammad Al-Dirani. Noura Khalid Janoun. Maral Hagob Kojadelian. Tareen Rita Ohannes Malkedjan. Sarah Muhammad Yahya Al-Mukhallalati. Hrach Moskofian.
May I ask the Interim Dean of the Faculty of Agriculture and Food Sciences to now make his way to the stage.
Mr. President, as Interim Dean of the Faculty of Agriculture and Food Sciences, and on behalf of my colleagues of the faculty, I have the honor to present to you the candidates for the degree of Master of Science with majors in Food Safety, Food Security, Food Technology, Irrigation, Nutrition, Public Health Nutrition, Plant Protection, Plant Science, Rural Community Development, and Master of Science in Environmental Sciences major, Ecosystem Management. Will all the candidates please rise?
Thank you, Mr. Dean. By virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees, I hereby confer upon you the degrees for which you have completed all the requirements and express the hope that your learning will lead you to advance knowledge in or enrich the practice of your chosen field. Congratulations.
I now call upon the candidates from the Faculty of Agriculture and Food Sciences to come to the stage.
Candidates for the degree of Master of Science, Natalie Yusuf Abdelbaki, Maria Fuad Abu Murad, Muzaffar Amin Abu Timin, حكمة جميل الخنسة، ربا علي بلوط، نصري حسن ظاهر حسين، غيدة محمد الديراني، آية عاطف فردون، محمود فادي فواز، نيكولاس ميشيل غلام، نور محمد حلاب، ميريام إلوكول، ريتا زياد عتاني، ليال سمير جعفر، محمد جميل مروان قدورة، عماد فايز كنيار، نغم محمود خليل، أليك رافي مسروبيان، الطيب هادي يوسف مصباح، مايا زياد سليمي، رباب علي سويدان، ملدي غسان تامر، رانيا سمير توما، سارة نزار الزيات، Candidates for the degree of Master of Science in Environmental Sciences, Ecosystem Management, Rhea Farid Antoine Krikor Ekmekji. I did it. ريما أسعد معلوف، سمر بسام مرقس، Faculty of Agriculture and Food Sciences and Faculty of Health Sciences. Candidates for the degree of Master of Science in Public Health and Nutrition. Omar Mazen Bahlawan. And last but not least, Dana Samir Matbouli.
May I call on the Dean of the Faculty of Health Sciences, Dr. Abla Sibai, to present her school's candidates.
Good evening. Thank you, Mr. President. Nice announcement. Mr. President, so as the Dean of the Faculty of Health Sciences, and on behalf of my colleagues of the faculty, I have the honor to present to you the candidates for the degrees of Master of Public Health, Master of Science in Epidemiology, and Master of Science in Environmental Sciences, major Environmental Health. Will all the candidates please rise?
By virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees, I hereby confer upon you the degrees for which you have completed all the requirements and express the hope that your learning will lead you to advance knowledge in or enrich the practice of your chosen field. Congratulations.
I now call upon the graduates from the Faculty of Sciences to come to the stage.
Candidates for the degree of Master of Public Health, Muhammad Fadi Al-Halabi. Amani Muhammad Al-Najjar. Hana Ziyad Urabi. السارة بدري بدري. علا عزي علي بزي. أنطوان فادي بونادر. نور محمود شمسين. مروة ربيع فارس. جنى محمد فرحات. لينا جمال حداد. ربا عبد الهادي هدلة. جنى محمد الحاج دياب. لارا خالد حامد. سمية محمود حروق. مايا أحمد حسن. دلال فارس جابر. سارة أدهم جابر. مينا يوسف جلاد. مريم عمر الجمل. ريما أحمد قشاش. نيروز حسين قاضي. لوسين يرفاند كابلانيان. يارا إحسان القوسي. زينب خليل خليل. رنا أسامة الكوش. فرانك كوتنسا. بيان محمد لويس. فادي نمر مارتينوس. فاطمة محمد عبد القادر مصطفى علي بركات. رنا جان نصر الله. جنى خالد السكاكيني. داليا وائل سري الدين. زينة نبيه صايغ. سارة حسين وهبي. Candidates for the degree of Master of Science in Epidemiology, Noor George Massouh. Candidates for the degree of Master of Science in Environmental Sciences, Major Environmental Health, Lara Malik Al-Tawil.
I now call upon the Dean of the Sulaiman Olayan School of Business to come to the podium.
Mr. President, as Dean of the Sulaiman Olayan School of Business, and on behalf of my colleagues, the members of the faculty of the school, I have the honor to present to you the candidates for the degree of Executive Master of Business Administration, Master of Business Administration, Master in Finance, Master of Arts in Human Resource Management, and Master of Science in Business Analytics. Will all the candidates please rise?
By virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees, I hereby confer upon you the degrees for which you have completed all the requirements and express the hope that your learning will lead you to advance knowledge in or enrich the practice of your chosen field. Congratulations.
I now call upon the graduates from the Sulaiman Olayan School of Business to come to the stage.
Candidates for the degree of Executive Master of Business Administration, Saad Rashid Abdallah. Antoine Michel Abu Zaid. أسامة محمد البردان. سامي حسين داغر. سلمى أحمد ضناوي.
شادي إيميل عيد، هاني جلال فرشوخ، رفيق مروان أندرو فرة، رامي يوسف فران، جمال عدنان فيومي، توني سمير جميل، كلوديا جبرايل حاكمي داوود، محي الدين عبد القادر الحشاش، راغد محمد فؤاد الحسن، وسيم محمد الحايك، شاهين يوسف الهندي، بلال طلال الحسيني، كمال كامل أبلان، حسن كامل القاعوري، حسن محمد خليل، سمر محمد خليل، جاد جهاد الخطيب، غسان إبراهيم محمود، دانيال محمد مزوب، رامي منير منصور، علي محمد مشيك، جاري أرتور نزاريان، وسيم عبدو نعمي، سونيا كريم عجيمي، إبراهيم علي عميس، جورج الياس الرياشي، توفيق حسن الصباغ، يوسف جمال سلامي، زهير ميشيل سماحة، محمد فراس قاسم التناوي، عمر إبراهيم يونس، رفع عز الدين الزعتري، جريس سامي زغيب، فؤاد أنطوان زوين. لبان جورج زوين. Candidate for the degree of Master of Business Administration. وسيم مكرم عبد الباقي. ساندرا أيمن أبي غنام. لبنى عمار السيد. ربيع أنور عرابي حداد. أماني عوني البابا. مايا محمد ماجد بغدادي. ربيع سمير البنا. ربيع محمد درويش. غسان نزار فعور. حسن حبيب فعور. لينا هشام فليفل. نور وسام حرب. رنا صبحي الحصباني. روني بطرس حكيم. اسماعيل محمد اسماعيل. عباس حسن لئيس. أحمد عماد منصور. ديما مخلص مطر. محمد أحمد ميبر. آية معن الصباغ. إبراهيم خضر السخلي. ناتالي وليد يونس. ديانا محمد رضا الزين. Candidate for the degree of Master in Finance. باسكال يعقوب عباجي. سيرجيو ماري نبيل الصفدي. منى دياب العوض. السيد أسامة بشير. لين محمد بزي. يحيى علي شرف الدين. كريستوفر جورج فرح. ريتا آرا هجي نزاريان. مريم محمد نجيب حكيم. روي كميل حوراني. بيرلا بطرس جاموس. أمل جمال جوني. سامي عبد القادر المحمصاني. علا بشار المغربل. فراس مصطفى مخدر. ربيع حسين موسى. شادي داوود نخلي. مارك أنتوني جورج الراسي. جوانا يوسف صابر. جنى حسين طباجة. Candidates for the degree of Master in Human Resource Management. ناجي زكريا الفاتح. بولا لويس شلهوب منسى. حسين علي درويش. وليد مساب الحج. هبة رشيد حمد. كريم يوسف الجاموس. سارة حسين خضر. هديل إبراهيم منصور. أمل محمد مازن مومني. رشا نزيه سعادي. شيرين محمد السيد. رزان عبد الناصر شرف الدين. أماني محمد زهران. Candidates for the degree of Master of Science in Business Analytics. جوني ميشيل الأشقر. مريم محمد رضا أحمد علي. فيرا نبيه الأشقر. منى محمد عمرو بعلبكي. إبراهيم ياسر البحري. كارن سامي باسيل. سارة عماد بو حمدان. نور سبع شكور. برافو نور. نهرة حليم شاغوري. فيرا نزيه شمس الدين. دلال يوسف درويش. سامر فؤاد حيدر. ريوا غازي الحكيم. ربا غازي الحكيم. جهاد بلال حلاب. سارة معن حربة. كيم مارك حاتم. جعفر إبراهيم حطيت. دلال محمود الخطيب. جوزيف بسام الخوري. غنى وفيق طيش. سارة أيمن المغربي. مهدي عامر السبلاني. منى أحمد صبح. ياسمين حسام الدين طبارة. باتريسيا ميشيل طوق. أنتوني جو يوسف زغيب.
Apparently there was a mistake and we have to rescind the medical students' degrees. Students, graduates of the class of 2022. The road you have traveled during your years at AUB has been a demanding one, and you're to be congratulated for having successfully met all the academic challenges of the most prestigious university in the region. I wish you success in your careers, personal joy in your lives, and peace and fulfillment in your communities. At this point, we need to acknowledge the key role that has been played by your families, your parents, your husbands and wives, even your children, who have walked this road with you, who have contributed their financial and emotional means, and who've given you their love and moral support. Your success is their success as well, and they are celebrating with you tonight. So I ask you to please stand, turn around, and express your appreciation for their constancy and devotion. Will the audience now please rise for the playing of the alma mater?
I now declare this awarding of honorary doctorates and graduate commencement exercise at a close. Will the degree recipients and the audience please remain in their places until the President and party have cleared the area? Mr. President, will you and your party please follow me?
عيد عيد عيد.
I'm watching the late show in my flat all alone. How I hate to spend the evening on my own.